On today's edition of Cronkite Sports Live, it's a spring fling with Sun Devil baseball undefeated on opening weekend. Now a new challenge comes to Phoenix Muni. We're going to meet the Oral Roberts Golden Eagles. It's the biggest game Tempe has seen in a decade. We've got full coverage of ASU and BYU for a path to the Big 12 championship. And it's crunch time for a top 10 volleyball squad. They move towards postseason play. We're bringing you a 5-course meal of Sun Devil athletics right now. It's a mammoth weekend here in Tempe, and by Sunday, ASU might be a win away from the Big 12 championship game. Welcome to Studio 6. Aiden Blanc, Gabby Chernoff, another week of Cronkite Sports Live. Do you have your tickets for Saturday? Sun's out, cameras are on, and CSL is a go for this Friday edition from Studio 6. One of the most anticipated seasons in program history begins at the Cathedral of College Basketball. We're just off Tobacco Road for CSL on the road from Cameron Indoor Stadium, an exhibition coming up on Sunday night between Arizona State and Duke. Arizona State also back in the pool, and they're back with a two-time Olympic bronze medalist. Sophomore sensation Ilya Karun with some pretty impressive numbers in the season opener against UNLV, right up at the top of the national rankings in all three of his individual events. And it's clear he's only building on an already historic career. Alan Judson has more. Second quarter, Sam Levitt evading pressure, finding Tyson back of the end zone, some toe drag swag on that one, and he let the crowd hear it in Manhattan. Near the end of the half, we're gonna go to Sam Levitt again. He dumps it to Shimon Mateer, and all of a sudden, ASU is up 21-0. Taking a look at Dom Pasella. Dom, big weekend coming up for ASU. First weekend headlined by the hitting. Surprise, surprise. They've always been hot in the Bloomquist era. Who stood out in the box on opening weekend? Splitting the weekend at Air Force, not the way that Arizona State wanted to start their season on the ice, but a second chance at a first impression comes this weekend as they host 10th-ranked Michigan in their first home games of the year. Greg Powers spoke earlier this week about maintaining mental toughness over the next few months. To break it all down, let's bring in WCSN men's basketball reporter George Lund. And George, we'll start with the most experienced of these players. These senior transfers have really come in and hit the ground running. Bryn has brought it all season long. The Texas A&M transfer has stood out in her second season in Tempe, currently sitting second on the team in assists and leading the charge defensively. Andres Armentas sat down with the redshirt freshman to hear her story. Opening weekend hockey action, Arizona State at Air Force. There goes Luke Potter. Blink and you miss him. Big win on opening night. ASU did lose game 2 of that series, and now they're back home. That playoff push continues on the ice, and here's how it will break down. On the pairwise front, which will determine who makes the NCAA tournament, Arizona State is searching for as many points as possible to try and secure an at-large bid to the dance. On the NCHC front, things get a bit more tricky because Western Michigan wins the regular season title if they sweep twice in regulation this weekend. If not, then things will come down to the final 2 weekends of play heading into the conference tournament. For more on the path to the postseason, here's Eric List. Seems to be a little bit up in the air as to who's taking that position. Saw multiple guys in there on opening weekend. What's happening behind the plate? Baseball, softball, hockey, hoops, wherever you're going, we appreciate you spending some time on this Friday with us. For Max Cepeda, I'm Aiden Blanc. So long from Studio 6. Back next week with another edition of Cronkite Sports Live. So long.